Okay, thank you very much. Right, okay, so I'm Bob McDonald. I'm a director at Stantec. I've presented previously, and you'll probably seen me under the name of Peter Brett Associates, and Peter Brett's are now Stantec. Okay, I'm going to give a brief update on the Thames Valley Berkshire Smart City Cluster project. It covers four local authorities: Reading, West Berkshire, Bracknell and Wokingham, and it's funded by the Thames Valley Berkshire LEP, and indeed LEP are very actively involved in the project and sit on the steering group, as this is seen as quite an exciting area to be taken forwards. What are we delivering? You might have seen some of this before, but basically we've got a capital spend, and that is the Smart City Platform, which is a LoRaWAN IoT network and an open data service. We've just we've awarded nearly £900,000 worth of challenge funding to businesses to develop smart city solutions. Those were awarded through 2 rounds of competition and very much focused on meeting real challenges of local authorities. So the aim here is not technology for technology's sake, but actually to be tackling things that hopefully then give the businesses a value going on, a product to sell. And so a key part of that, obviously, then was working with the local authorities, and we've had a number of workshops, both cross-authority and cross-sectors within those authorities, with the aim of identifying the challenges. And that probably took 6 to 9 months at the start. A real key focus of education around smart cities and seeing what the real opportunities could be. Talking about the LoRaWAN network, this is the proposed coverage as we see it, covering the vast majority of the urban areas, and this is across Reading, Wokingham, Bracknell and Newbury. And at the moment, we've been impacted slightly by work stopping. We've probably got about 40% of the units in, and our focus at the start has been very much tall buildings. The higher we can get our LoRa units, the better the coverage we get. And as you can appreciate, that involves a lot of negotiation to get into third-party buildings to be able to do that. Our second stage has then been to get in sort of 12-metre tall poles, and again, there's been negotiation around that as to where to put them, and a reasonable lead-in time, and most of those are up or in the process of being put up. And then we infill largely with traffic signal sites. They're not as high, but they're easy to deploy. And it's a bit of a shame because we really were on a roll here to be getting substantial completion of the network within a couple of months. But it looks like that's going to at least push back to the summer now. And just an indication of what our modelling shows will be the percentage of the population covered at the end. Reading, obviously being an urban area, has got a better coverage, but the other 4 authorities with quite a lot of rural area, but will still have most of the population coverage. It's only a sort of 1 or 2% that don't. So what about the challenges then? What are we doing? What are we working on at the moment? So 9 challenges. Starting at the top left, just to say the images here are just stock images. One of the things that we obviously will be doing is collecting proper images of the pilots as they go forwards. But starting at the top left, so College, working with IoT Styles and Tender Tech, of largely completed, in fact. They've been using non-intrusive Internet of Things technology linked to the LoRa network to prevent falls. And the key here is prevention of falls in homes. Some very exciting technology there and very effective. And so stage now is to feedback and see how we can take that forward with the council. Joy, which is a project in Wokingham with Berkshire Age UK and the technology firm Pungo Limited, is very much tackling loneliness and isolation through identifying vulnerable people and connecting them to local services and activities. The platform is not quite complete at this stage, but what they have been able to offer is some interactive wellbeing sessions during the current COVID-19 situation. So they're able to do something with it, and they are. Volume on the right there, creating an app to really promote cultural events in Wokingham. So how do you bring what's happening in different spaces together? How do you get the right people, the people who are interested to know about these events? And so that is progressing very well. On the bus image, the ethos, they've pulled together a system and have been testing that to monitor number of people on the bus, number of seats available, looking at wheelchair spaces, things like that, and creating services, particularly for the elderly and more vulnerable people who really can, who are put off travelling by public transport if they see they're not going to be able to sit down. And this is seen as quite key, again, helping the sort of vulnerable part of the communities, and giving people more confidence to travel and in getting out and about. There's all the health benefits, that in itself tackles loneliness and isolation, a lot of wider benefits from the accessibility of public transport. Measurable in the middle there, that is was a response to a challenge around reducing carbon impact. And they've developed a small power analytics system, uses AI built into the power sockets to really evaluate all those peripherals that are connected to it and intelligently turn things off when they can. 40% of building energy is used by the things plugged into the sockets, and therefore there's quite a large potential saving there. Eco Rewards are looking at IoT devices and a rewards package to encourage sustainable travel to school. They've got to the point of installing some of these devices in the environment before we've stopped now, and they've got quite an exciting and strong rewards package left in place to go alongside that. Working with 2 schools initially, but see the opportunity to take that further. Think Engineer have developed a suite of IoT household environmental sensors and a storage platform and intelligent algorithms for detecting issues with heating and fuel poverty, and very much at the stage now of needing to get into homes to install that within Reading Borough Council's the housing stock that they use to house people. College at the bottom there have developed a My Way app. It's still under development, very much focused on women university students who want to walk home safely at night in Reading. A network of sensors is already partly installed. Obviously the installation's been stopped. They monitor lighting levels, people movement, noise levels, and then at the background there, they're using analytic techniques to distinguish between different types of sound and what is a good sort of buzz of a sound and what is a more concerning sound, to give an overall impression of the safety and what's happening in the activity that's happening on the routes around Reading. And finally, SSPS have been working with West Berkshire to develop and deliver chatbots, and this is something that West Berks are very excited about because the early demonstration, the early results are very, very good in terms of reducing that impact on the council, providing a better service, but also it's very much staff time in heavy, answering the telephones, and they need to get people away from that. What they've been able to also do is a very quick COVID-19 chatbot. Too soon to really quantify how much that's been used, probably just about 50 to 60 times an hour at the moment with just a soft launch. But it has been streamlining user experience, decreasing dwell time on some pages, and impacting on call centre volumes. So all in all, with these research, these innovation projects, there's an expectation that some amount of innovation fails. But what we're very pleased here and where we are and in discussing with the challenges is very good progress and some exciting apps coming out and services. So where do we go from here? We've got to complete these challenge called projects, and realistically, you know, we're working with them to refine programs and see what we can estimate, but it's going to be the latter part of this year, rather than being finished in the sort of next couple of months as originally planned. Completion of the IoT network probably coming back to the summer now for the substantial part of it. We're also looking at a couple of programs. One is a startup program, so smaller scale funding, but these projects have focused much more on the more developed stages of project ideas, with £100,000 grants. Also looking at a schools engagement program with Green Meets Grey across the 4 authorities. And we'll be looking for companies to engage in that, to provide in-kind time to support those as they come forward. Although in this case, the project will pay the sort of the main building and costs and those sort of costs for running the program. Events, we've got a couple of key events. One is internal, it's closed, it's for the local authorities, but very much about moving the understanding forward still within the local authorities of the value of smart cities by demonstrating and talking through the projects that have been done. But then there's going to be an open event. Was going to be September, but now is more likely to be happening in November time, where, you know, anybody on this call or whatever would be welcome to come along to that as a proper showcase for the final results. And then further funding, the Law 1 network should be extended in the next few months into the Royal Borough of Windsor Maidenhead and Slough. We have funding, there's a bit of a business case element just to be finalised on that. And working then with the 6 local authorities across Berkshire, we are looking at various options to further develop the Smart City initiative. Just a final comment here. This is something that Bill Hicks from the LEP was keen to put in because it may well be relevant to some of you on the call. Just to say that the LEP has set up a task force to provide guidance and support for businesses that may be struggling or not sure how to go forward in the current situation. That task and Finnish group is made up of the Growth Hub, the Chamber of Commerce, FSB, IOD, CBI and the local authorities. And if it's something that you do want to investigate further, you think that might be able to help you there, then go to the Berkshire Business Hub website and there's links through on that. This is not something I'll necessarily be able to answer questions on though, if you want to ask questions. Okay, that's it for me. A brief update of the project, and if you want to ask questions, then I'll obviously answer those at the end with everybody else. So thank you very much for listening.